Hello, my name is Brad Olson. I'm the head Jesus follower at Loveland United Methodist Church. We're in a 40-day season of preparation for Easter called Lent. This year our theme is cups. We're taking a closer look at the 6 cups that are a part of the story of the last week of Jesus' earthly life. You probably know what some of them are. Jesus told a parable about sheep and goats. To the sheep, Jesus said, "I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink." And so we imagine that a cup might have been a part of that story. At the Last Supper, Jesus took a cup and said, "Drink from this, all of you. This is my blood of the new covenant, poured out for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins." In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed, "Lord, take this cup from me." And on the cross, Jesus was given a cup that was filled with a mixture of wine and vinegar. Each week, we've come up with 3 discussion questions. This week they are, what's the story of the first cup? How would you have answered the question, are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink? And what are some ways that you serve the Lord? Our hope is that these weekly living room chat videos will encourage you to answer those questions with the folks in your house or somebody that you call on the phone. On Sunday, I suggested that a cup is what's left over after everything else is poured out, and so it represents our fate. One of the things this series is doing for me is it's making me more aware of the cups that are around my house. I've noticed, for example, that we have coffee cups. My wife has a collection of teacups. We have personalized cups. This one has pictures of family. We also have a water jug. That one's also personalized with pictures of family. We have water or milk glasses. Of course, we have the universal solo cup. And I have an accumulation of communion chalices that I've picked up over the years. This one came from South Africa when we were there several years ago. So let's get to these questions. The first one, what's the story of the first cup? The last week of Jesus' earthly life began on Palm Sunday when Jesus entered Jerusalem triumphantly for the Passover festival. They wanted to make him king. Right before that, Jesus took the disciples aside and said, "I'm going to have to suffer and die and be crucified, and then on the 3rd day rise again." 2 of the disciples, James and John's mother, heard the part about Jesus rising again and went to Jesus and said, "When that happens, will you promise me that James and John will have the positions of honor at your left and your right hand?" Jesus said, "That's really not mine to give," and then asked, "Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink?" James and John answered, "Yes, we are able." Then Jesus said, "The Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve." Which brings us to our second question. How would you have answered that question? Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink? James and John answered enthusiastically, "Yes, we are able." Of course they would. They're the sons of thunder. But then again, when Jesus was crucified, they were nowhere to be found. As I ask myself that question, I'm a little less enthusiastic. There are some challenges that I face that I'm not sure how I would answer. If Jesus had come to me, for example, and asked, "Are you able to weather a global pandemic?" I'm not sure I would have said, "Yes, I'm able." If Jesus comes to me and says, "Are you able to sit beside the bedside of a saint who is dying?" I struggle with that. When somebody comes to me and looks for advice on how to weather overwhelming challenges in life, I struggle with what the advice to give them is. And so I think the conversation that might better have gone on with me would have been me saying, "Lord, I'm really struggling with this." And so I think Jesus then would have asked, "Well, do you believe that I am able?" And then I think Jesus might have said something like, "Let's see if we can't do this together." Which brings me to my last question. What are some ways that you serve the Lord? What are some ways that you follow the example of the Son of Man who came not to be served, but to serve? Me? One of the ways that I serve is there's about a mile stretch of road outside of our house that I've kind of adopted. And each week I walk that mile of road and pick up garbage. The challenge that was given to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden was tend the garden. This is one of the ways that I follow that command. to tend the garden. I know that I can't change the world, but I like to believe that when I'm done with that walk, I've made my corner of it a little bit better. I hope that you're finding ways that you also can serve the Lord. Stay safe and be well. God bless.